Would you have voted for the Civil Rights Act of 1964?
I like the Civil Rights Act in the sense that it ended discrimination in all public domains, and I'm all in favor of that.
But?
You had to ask me the but. I don't like the idea of telling private business owners. I abhor racism. I think it's a bad business decision to ever exclude anybody from your restaurant. But at the same time, I do believe in private ownership. But I think there should be absolutely no discrimination in anything that gets any public funding. And that's most of what the Civil Rights Act was about, to my mind.
And then it was extended by most localities to include all. Would you have favored those local decisions?
Well, in a local basis, it might be a little different. And the thing is I would speak out in favor of it. I mean, I look at like the speeches of Martin Luther King, and I tell you, I become emotional watching the speeches of Martin Luther King. I loved it because he was a great transformative figure, but he was a believer. What I don't like most about politics is almost none of them are believers, and he was a true believer. And he fought government injustice, and those were governmental rules and laws that forbid people, from riding the bus or sitting in certain parts of the bus or drinking water from public fountains. All of that should have ended, and I think was a great occurrence that it did.
But under your philosophy, it would be okay for Dr. King not to be served at the counter at Woolworths.
I would not go to that Woolworths, and I would stand up in my community and say it's abhorrent. But the hard part, and this is the hard part about believing in freedom, is if you believe in the First Amendment, for example, you have to, for example, most good defenders of the First Amendment will believe in abhorrent groups standing up and saying awful things. And we're here at the bastion of newspaperdom. I'm sure you believe in the First Amendment, so you understand that people can say bad things. It's the same way with other behaviors. In a free society, we will tolerate boorish people who have abhorrent behavior, but if we're civilized people, we publicly criticize that and don't belong to those groups or don't associate with those people.
But it's different with race because certainly for 100 years, discrimination based on race was codified under federal law.
Exactly. It's institutionalized.
That's right.
And that's why we had to end all of the institutional racism. And I would in favor completely of that.